So welcome to week 3 of our ARU preview show, still called Men's Collegiate Breakdown Preview Show. Week 3 with Seth, Erwin, and myself, Marc, Sanko.
Recap preview.
Recap and preview. In fact, we're going to change the format up a little bit this week and shorten the recap section since we talk too much, and that's just another opportunity to talk. So, we're going to do a little recap. We're going to give you our player of the week. And then we have some special guests that are going to be joining us from Baldwin Wallace. We have co-captains, Philip Heck and Tyler Rowe, after their exciting 2-0 start to the 2022 campaign. So, excited for that.
Good rebound.
We'll wrap up there with our previews of week 3, and then a new segment called Office Hours with this guy, Dr. Sanko. That's right, I'm a doctor, or at least so they tell me. So we'll have a little rant. We'll wrap up the show, and we'll call it good today. So, Seth, welcome. Happy Monday night for us. Thursday night for the viewers.
Happy Monday. Good weekend. It's gonna be a different show. A little bit weird. Special guest now, right? We're gonna do a special guest of the week. Pretty pumped about that. So the recap portion, we want to go quicker. We want to be more efficient and see how we can get through. So let's get rolling. First match of the week was actually a forfeit called on Friday night. Frostburg State had some issues with medical waivers and medical clearance. They were unable to travel, so Franciscan took the 5-point forfeit. Per bylaws, Frostburg got -1 in standings. They are cleared to go this week per Kurt this morning, so we'll see them back on the trail and back at it. Second match was Rio 58, John Carroll 5. Per social media, it seemed like Rio controlled the match pretty dominantly. I think 31-0 at half. Got some opportunity to get some guys in, made some rotate. The biggest lopsided of the week against a team really trying to get his footing, yet new in the ARU. So Slippery Rock 116, SUNY 5. Talking to Coach Heasley, it was pretty lopsided from the beginning. They dominated play. They dominated possession. SUNY, though, however, punched in a late one, so they didn't quit. They didn't give up. They kept going. I think my match of the week, 34, Buffalo 5. That was the second time this year we played out of division and played up. We played up to Buffalo D1A. Coach Hodgins at Buffalo, ironically, was my level 3 evaluator. So when I got my level 3 certification, he was the evaluator that weekend. And he had some really nice things to say about the program and what we're doing at IUP. So that was, from a coaching perspective, having somebody of his caliber give us a lot of compliments about what we're doing made my week. So
I bet. So the student has become the master is what you're trying to say.
I don't know about that, but I'll take a good 34 win over a good D1A team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really interesting first 4 matches there. I think Slippery Rock is dangerous.
I told you after we played them that they kept coming. They played just tenacious defense behind the gain line. I think they're a team to watch. They keep progressing. They're that 1, 2, or 3 gonna fight Franciscan and RMU or for one of those top spots in the East for sure.
Yeah. Well, and then we get over here to Clarion to sort of round out our other 4 matches of the weekend here. Not a great showing for us here at Clarion. 65-0 for Kent State. Kent State being D2, pretty well drilled. Big size. There are some big boys at Kent State that, again, same thing. We're a sevens team with a few forwards, and we got ground to the ground. Ground to the ground. Grounded into the ground or pounded into the ground, whatever you want to say.
I know you. It's okay. Everybody knew what you meant. We were
yeah.
Slide.
But Kent State looked good. Starting to fire on all cylinders. They had a couple other matches before us, sort of an alumni thing and Cleveland thing. So certainly rounding into form with you guys next week. The game of the week ended up being the game of the week.
Absolutely.
And we
game of the week.
We recorded the conversation with Baldwin Wallace guys before this, and 24-0, Baldwin Wallace jumped out and then had to hang on as Case tried to claw back into it in the second half. And 24-22, Baldwin Wallace over Case Western. And I hope we picked the game of the week right again this week because I wish I would have been there.
That's great. Even for Case, a 2-point bonus point loss is huge in the standings. That's definitely going to come into play later on. It's not like a shutout where you're not getting points. They got their 4 tries. They got their loss within 7. 2 bonus point losses. No loss is a good loss, but that's
not as good as it can get.
You're not going backwards, right? You're still
right.
Well, so.
And if that's their first game of the year, let's just assume. I haven't heard anything else. Maybe that first half was a little jittery, but coming out firing in the second half. So heck of a match in Avon, Ohio. They were just west of Cleveland. And then Kenyon and Denison, sort of that rivalry down in the Columbus area. Kenyon taking a 19-0 win over Denison. So really some great matches, some tighter matches in the ARU West this weekend. And then we get our developmental sevens. We had a great tournament at Tiffin. Just saw some pictures before we came on from Cedarville, posting some pictures of the tournament. You were talking about the Dragon jerseys of Tiffin. Got to see those in action.
Best kits in the ARU.
Best kits, for sure.
Don't try about it.
and as we kind of thought, Wabash definitely played well. If you looked at the scores, we're well ahead of a lot of teams there. So they took first. The ONU, Ohio Northern, Ohio Wesleyan combo took second. The Bishop Bears or the Bear Bishops or something like that. Was their combined nickname. Great nickname. Tiffin took third in their own tournament. Looked pretty good as well, I think. Cedarville and then Bowling Green State, Seaside. So great developmental tournament. I know all those teams really appreciated getting out. They were excited to be playing some rugby.
Their first run of the year, so they got out, got some rugby.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're really excited to see that as well. And so that's kind of your quicker recap than we provided for you last week. So that allows us some time to talk to you about, player of the week. So, Seth, why don't you tell us about the player of the week?
So, the player of the week, and again, player of the week comes from Match Reports. So, plug of the week, get your Match Reports in. Spoiler alert, it's going to come back up at the end. Get your Match Reports in. That's where we're pulling the player of the week from. If you don't submit a Match Report, we don't know who does well. So, we can't give a player of the week from your side because we don't have the info. So, player of the week, hard to beat. I think the number 2 came from my side, who arguably, beating a D1 team is tough. So being the man in the match and in the running for player of the week, but that's 5 tries in a week is impossible to beat for a player of the week. We would lose our job to who we don't answer to anybody, so it's kind of cool anyways. Probably lose our job to, I don't know, Heasley and Pinball doing this, right?
There you go.
So, player of the week from SRU, 5 tries on the day. Coach Heasley wanted to mention that he was very unselfish. He just had a lot of hard runs and a lot of home runs, where he was even giving up tries towards the end. Is their inside center, I believe inside center, Chase Neving. He played, I know, over the summer some sevens with some of my guys with the Quins there in Pittsburgh. So when we played them, he was like a gnat in RJ's ear the whole match. Like every time RJ touched the ball, he was around him and making RJ make tough decisions in good play. So he's going to be a player to watch going forward. Tough defensively, very hard runner when he has ball in hand. And it seems like this week he was making really good decisions with the ball. So congratulations, Chase. Congratulations, Slippery Rock, on a big win. They got RMU this week, right?
They do have RMU this week, yes.
All
right. Block, yeah.
It's a bold guess.
Big game.
We'll get there.
We will.
But, yeah, congratulations. Again, get your match reports in. That helps us, get ready for this, get the graphics ready, get the graphics out on social media, allows us to hammer content down people for the ARU, the men's side of the ARU collegiate. So keep getting us that info, and we'll keep trying to put together a good product here.
Yeah. Well, and with that, like you said, we're a different format today because
we're in the time we can talk.
I know. Yay. Well, but before we talk with our new format, we're trying to get other people to talk with us.
Yeah.
And we would like to be inviting, different programs who want to come on and talk about their season so far. So we're trying to reach out to different teams and having different teams show up. So like we promised you at the start, here is our now segment, our interview with Baldwin Wallace. So joining us now from Baldwin Wallace is co-captains Philip Heck and Tyler Rowe. We were just sort of chatting with them a little bit beforehand, and both of them third-year players at Baldwin Wallace. So that means, you guys sort of had to deal with COVID too. Probably you're freshman year? Is that right?
Second semester, yeah. Started during winter workouts for sevens, and then as soon as spring break hit, we couldn't play anymore, so it was real disappointing.
Yeah. So you're part of that legacy class that understood a world pre-COVID.
Yes. A whole semester of college before the world shut down.
You guys had a little bit of a rebuilding year last year, but you're doing really well this year. Big win against SUNY at home, and then last weekend at Case, although it looked like it was in a cornfield from what your Instagram said.
Yes, it sure was.
Was that a special event going on out there?
Yeah, so the Cleveland Rovers, that was their home pitch in Avon, Ohio. And they're actually pretty close to where I'm from, so I know of them.
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool setup, but it is tucked back in a cornfield for sure. I missed the entrance 3 times. Yeah, it's ridiculous, but it's an interesting environment to play in. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Playing in cornfield, Seth was talking about Morgantown's old rock quarry field. So these are rugby legendary fields right here.
Oh yeah,
the good old foothills of the Allegheny, different pitches. My freshman year we played up on top of a mountain outside of Indiana before they built our pitch on campus here. So I definitely know the weird pitch vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
So last year, a little difficult record-wise, and like you guys were saying, a little difficult numbers-wise too. What's different for you guys this year? What's starting this 2-0 start here?
I think last year, like you said, it was a rebuilding year, and what we did during that time was kind of wrote together our personal relationships, and we just became real close to each other, and kind of built on that and showed that through our recruitment process last year and this fall, and people saw that culture and really kind of wanted to join in and be a part of that, which that's what I saw my freshman year, and that's what got me out here. So, yeah.
So that recruiting process, is that kind of what you're attributing to this quick turnaround? You got a lot of rookies, or is it you found a lot of old rugby guys that just were still on campus that wanted to lace them up one more time, or?
It's a pretty good mix.
I was going to say
both. We've got a good amount of returning guys that have some rugby experience, which is always great. We're always trying to get new guys in, and it's as simple as seeing just going to the things around campus, the events around campus, and seeing who's interested and
anybody's ever played before, just put the ball in their hands and kind of just seeing how it goes. And we try to find guys that, come into college early and fall in love with it like we did, and the rest is history.
Recruit.
Even if they don't experience, we have a big involvement fair, and we walk up to guys and we're like, "Hey, you ever play rugby?" And they're like, "No." We're like, "You want to?"
Yeah.
It's great. Just give them the ball and toss it around, and that kind of, we got a lot of people just from that kind of just throwing them in there. And,
Okay.
That seems to be, especially small college. It is, hey, bud, do you like to hit people? I got the sport for you. So we're definitely familiar with that. Really tight game this past weekend with Case Western. Obviously Seth and I are on the ground here in the East. So give us your view of that game, since we don't get to be there in Cleveland area. So, little recap, what was exciting about it, and then obviously how did it end? Was it a nail-biting game?
yeah, it was a very interesting game. We started off first half, scored 24 points, and then kind of at about halfway through the second half, they had two probably 10-minute drives back-to-back, like very hard-nosed defense for like 10 minutes straight that we had to play, and gave up 10 on that, like those two drives, which, and then they had a few breakaways, but it was tough, but we hung in there. Even when we were tired and everything, we stuck it out and just put a fork in it.
Yeah, 24-0 and then holding on at the end there. That had to be a little nerve-wracking. Yeah.
Very,
Absolutely.
definitely something we're gonna focus on this week and next week in practice. Is endurance and not letting that happen again, because that was a little too nerve-wracking for too close for comfort.
Well, I've absolutely been on the wrong side of that before, where you have a nice, comfortable first half lead, and then you kind of cruise, and then it's like, oh no, quicksand. Just keep sinking, and you're playing defense for 10 minutes, and then you forget what your shoulders feel like, and next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, is it the final whistle yet? Can we just get one jackal, get possession, and just get it out of bounds? Like, somebody help us out here.
Yeah.
And you guys got a open week this week, right? Or did you fill that week?
Do have a bye week this week.
Yeah, we have.
So 20 minutes of straight defense, a bye week's going to definitely feel good.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. We did a pool practice today as a recovery kind of thing. Today, actually. So, this week we're really focusing on recovery, and then next week and the end of this week we're going to get back out it on the pitch and really start hitting hard.
So a couple, 3-4 games left on your schedule, I think, right, for the fall. Which one are you guys circling?
Except for all of them.
Yeah,
Except for all of them. Because we're taking it game by game.
Yeah.
JCU.
I think John Carroll for sure.
John Carroll. Got it. They're right across town. There are school rivals. It's no secret. It's always fun. It's always a good game, and that's what we got our sights set on. We're looking forward to that.
The old cross Cleveland battle of the small college.
Well, we're so proud of you guys for the season you've put together so far, and real happy to see success out of Baldwin Wallace. And anything else you want to sort of tell the world about Baldwin Wallace here? Well, the floor is yours.
I mean, one thing I can think of is we've got a really solid group. A lot of raw athleticism on the team, a lot of rugby experience, and we're really excited to keep it rolling and get through these games coming up. So.
Yep. Just excited to keep the momentum going and finish out the season strong.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking some time out of your night.
Good luck. Good recruiting. Get healthy.
Yep. Go Jackets, right?
Jackets.
All right, guys. Thanks. We'll talk soon. Take care. Well, it was great having Tyler and Philip with us here from Baldwin Wallace. Again, 2-0 on the start of the year with that big win against SUNY and that tight win against Case. Sitting atop the ARU West. There are ARU West division leaders at the moment.
Well, that's a very good comeback program. Last year they struggled with numbers, doing what they could at practices, not really having 15. I think they were towards the bottom of the division. I don't even think they made Challenge Cup playoffs last year in the ARU. So to see that turnaround just tells me that their core cares and is heavily recruiting. And it's great to see a program like that just completely 180 on the year. And,
and it's great for the competitive balance in the West, too. I think when we started this preview show, we were talking about Case and John Carroll. And so having Baldwin Wallace playing as well as they are so far, I mean, we're 2-3 weeks in. But that definitely is awesome to see. Of course, we want to see competitive divisions. So,
do I dare say they watched this and got mad that we were just saying Case and John Carroll? Are we giving bulletin board material weekly?
Dude, I hope we are. That'd
be great.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
That'd be great. Well, good win for them. Good start for them. They get a well-deserved bye week this week, and that is a great lead to our preview of week 3. There's your preview for Baldwin Wallace. They ain't playing this week.
Easiest preview of the week.
That was the shortest and wrap. We're done. We're out of here, folks. No, just kidding. Here we go. Here's our preview. So we'll start with you guys here. Kent State, the folks that just were here in Clarion, traveled back to Pennsylvania this week to play IUP.
We are.
Oh, you're at Kent.
We're at Kent. Yep.
Oh, you even got it wrong on the.
Yeah, I'm not perfect, Mark. I'm not perfect.
Well, that's all right.
It's IUP at Kent.
IUP at Kent.
It is a run it back of the ARU championship last year.
Right.
One that, we played on a day's rest. They played back-to-back Saturday, Sunday.
I will say, they brought that up at the social afterwards.
Oh, yeah, it was awful.
Please.
It was awful. I agree. I thought it was bad. I didn't think it was very...
Which is why we fixed it for this year.
We fixed it. I took into account how awful that was. I know I like a lot of the players on Kent, even though they probably hate me. It's fine. I'm okay with that. So we know what we're getting into. I know they've had a coach turnover where now they're basically player coached. I think they have a men's club guy come in and helping, but I know their captain, Luke, very well. He was one that broke my heart in the recruiting process. He played for me majority of his high school career, so he knows my system. He knows what we run. I'm guessing that's what they're running now that he's in charge and he's calling the plays, calling the setup, calling the attack, which is good. It's gonna be a good challenge. He's a very hard player to stop. He's very shifty. He's great with ball in hand. Our goal is going to be to stop him and make somebody else beat us. If we can do that, then I feel pretty confident going in that we can play our game and keep progressing to where we are. Knowing they have big forwards up for the challenge. Buffalo had some extremely big forwards. And for us, we're going to refocus on scrummaging and refocus on set piece work. Kind of get our game back to normal. But we're going to Kent. I believe it's our alumni weekend, so it's going to be a little bit of, extra targets on our back. We're coming in, reigning ARU champ, reigning Sevens national champ. I coached Luke. He would love nothing more than have bragging rights. I don't know what else we can throw is bulletin board material on this match, but for us, We're coming in, and we're really confident in how we can play and what we can do. We're coming in healthy for probably the first time all year, which is great. So without giving out Luke too much information, as soon as I post the line out, his game plan against me is going to change. So we may delay a line out until maybe right before kickoff.
I'm loving it. No, he was great. He was even coaching up our scrum half. We threw out a rookie scrum half out there this past weekend, and he's out there at the back of the scrum. I can hear him go, "Now pick the ball now. Pick the ball." And so he's coaching up our guy. I mean, he's a great kid, and they got a handful of other guys that have played a lot. That they're a dangerous team.
Yeah.
Good luck.
It's going to be a good one. I don't take what we have to do is going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be, for faint of heart to come watch. It's two very physical teams. It's going to be behind each other's gain line majority of the match. It's just who's going to make the less mistakes and who's going to control possession. For two teams like this, that's going to be key. How often do you limit your mistakes and can you bottle Luke up?
Hey, we can't wait to see what happens. That's what I got to say to that. But I will say this: as I'm looking at our schedule, did we pick a game of the week this week?
We haven't. So we might do it live.
Let's do it live.
There's a lot. We could probably pick 3 or 4 of these.
I know. That's what I was thinking as I was looking at this. I mean, yours, the first D2 match is pretty important. The next one, Rio at WVU. I mean, that's
a good one.
That's a big game, too.
It's going to be a good one. Rio's going to keep trying to progress and see where they are. We say it every week, resume building. They are resume building. Every match for them is a niche to get into the D1 playoffs and get into that play-in week. WVU wants to rebound. For sure.
Have a week off.
Yeah.
So,
Coach Paul is in Key West, I think it was.
So really a mental reset, a nice mental break. And
not jealous at all. Very jealous.
Yeah, so that's going to be a tight game. At least we would think coming into it. WVU again, sort of growing into the season, right? I mean, a lot of programs are growing into the season, and so big test. Looking at that schedule when it came out, WVU had a lot of home games, so their travel schedule is real tough here. But they get the match at home again in Morgantown.
Hey, like I said earlier, they can buy me a beer when I'm in town. I'm not perfect, Mark.
Hey, listen, who wouldn't want to go to Morgantown? That's what I got to say. So
I get flashbacks and blowing my knee out, all right? Every time I'm there.
As a WVU,
I don't think I've ever actually been in Morgantown. I've only been to Milan Park.
That's wild. Well, don't worry. Morgantown has now grown to the point where it incorporates Milan Park. So,
Okay, cool. I've been there.
Anyway, Rio at WVU. Again, should be a great game. WVU usually has a Facebook live stream for that. So if you're interested in sort of catching that, you might be able to catch it on their Facebook as well. And then we come back to small college. We got, again, lots of games of the weeks here. But this one, I think, is going to be maybe the game of the week in small college. Robert Morris and Slippery Rock. 1 o'clock at Slip. Robert Morris having played Clarion, and then they had a little scrimmage last weekend with Cal. They are probably, would be my guess, in pretty good form at this moment. Assuming they stayed healthy last week at Cal, they should be coming in looking pretty tough. And then, of course, we have Slip, who, man of the week, match of the, player of the week, 116 points last week. I mean, it looks like their offense is firing on all cylinders. Yeah. Their defense is stout. It's at Slippery Rock, which, as you said last time, great home crowd there for them. It's a little rivalry, anyways. Robert Morris, Slippery Rock always tends to be
always close.
Seemingly
always close. Yeah.
I mean, what more could you ask for? It's supposed to be a beautiful fall day in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. If you're around, get your butt up to the Slimy Pebble and go watch some rugby. Sorry, I can't. I
they
can't.
Don't like when you say that.
He's gonna love it. They're all gonna love it. It should be a great game. Oh, Hightower. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, bud.
Don't matter. He is a gentle giant, but he will rough you up. I played against him. I know he will rough you up.
So, is there something we should be looking for in this match, Seth? Since you're our comment.
So I know Coach Crago was out. He was at Colorado, right? Colorado or Utah?
Yeah.
Ruggerfest. So he wasn't at the tri scrimmage they did. Knowing how they have progressed pretty quickly, I think they're getting skill. They're learning skill. And put up 116 points. Slippery Rock probably watched the heck out of their match against us and saw how many opportunities inside the 22 and where we were able to exploit their attack defensively and corrected things. So I think I'm gonna say that this is our game of the week. Graphic it and put it. It's our game of the week. It's gonna be probably a back and forth, come down to the last very couple seconds.
Yeah.
It should be a really good match and hopefully one that they film so I can watch later on.
Oh. Well, and hopefully someone's filming over there because it's going to be a great day of rugby at Slippery Rock. It's a doubleheader.
Yeah.
ARU doubleheader. So we're going Frostburg SUNY, our two furthest apart teams in the East, decided to meet in the middle, and Slippery Rock was gracious enough to host at 11 a.m. So Frostburg going to get into the game this week. You had mentioned it against Franciscan. There was a sort of unexpected sort of medical clearances they needed.
The university
and that happens.
Yeah, the university put the medical requirements on them, and I know in talking to Coach Baker back and forth about will you have enough guys? Are you guys going to get cleared in time? Will they not be cleared in time? He was having more meetings today. There was I think a little bit of miscommunication between the university and rugby, like that ever happens.
Yeah.
And where he thought that returning players wouldn't need to recertify through the medical process, but they ended up needing to. So he's confident everything's going to be cleared up. He's going to travel. They got like 26 guys.
Yeah.
So I know they have full university support, so they're ready to roll. Again,
that was the shame from last week, is because he has all these guys, a big team, big squad, they're ready to go, and then an administrative snafu holds them back last week. Yeah. But like you said, cleared up this week. SUNY gets to travel into Pennsylvania for the first time. Week 3, they're finally coming to PA. Yep. Coming down to Slippery Rock. So, look, from the Fredonia point of view, a couple lopsided results, but, talking with Hightower, was telling me, they got a ton of guys out. They never quit. They're athletic. They're going to get it. And when they put it together, they're going to be a pretty dangerous club. And so, another week of practice, against the team in Frostburg that hasn't gotten a chance to get out yet.
I don't think
a really good match.
I don't think Frostburg's really had a chance to actually do rugby. I think they're just mainly fitness at this point until they get all their clearances and stuff. So just rust come into play.
Yeah. So it could be a nice little appetizer before the game of the week at 1 o'clock. Yeah. I feel.
I like it.
There we go.
Add that to the graphic. Little appetizer.
Little snack, little chicken wings bouncing down the screen.
And some wings, some maybe calamari.
We'll see if I can do that. I'm not that great.
We're going to go into a whole different podcast about food now. I'm in. So then that moves us into our other matches. We got you guys on the road, first time. heading
First
to
time.
Franciscan. Like we said weeks past, not an easy road, not an easy start. RMU, Kent, Franciscan, back to back. So I mean, you saw what Kent was able to do and kind of exploit space. Or are you game planning to change some stuff up? Or
Well, here's what I had told you in text, and I firmly believe this. I think we were better, despite the score. I think we were better this week than we were against Robert Morris. I put the film up today and was watching. Our defense was a little more disciplined, staying in our gaps, kind of pressuring the ball together. It's just, you make one mistake, and Kent was good enough to exploit that. Whereas, if we played that way against Robert Morris, might have been a tighter match. So I think, it's a matter of telling the guys what you just said. Couldn't have asked for a tougher first 3 games. Or maybe we're throwing slippery rock in there. But we're just going to keep working on getting better. We're getting healthier. We have 4 guys coming back, 2 from work commitments, 2 that are coming off sort of dings. So the roster is getting deep again, thankfully. And realistically, those are 4 of some of our better guys. So I'm thinking, just keep hammering the same things that we are trying to do. We're trying to put a system in place, and that takes time. So the guys feel comfortable doing that. And so we'll see. I mean, we certainly know it's a big challenge. You and I know. We've watched a little Franciscan. We've seen what they've done. Pitt and WVU, and now they got kind of a quasi-bye. We felt so bad last week. It was their ruckus, and they got the forfeit. But so I'm sure, having played them in sevens in the spring, and you can attest to this too, they're disciplined. Jason's going to have them playing solid rugby. That they're not going to make a mistake. So, we're just going to have to try and match that in some ways.
I think when we talked offline, the key for you is to keep progressing and start stringing phases.
Yeah.
Per some of the film I've watched of you guys, it looks like you want to hit home runs like you're playing sevens, and you say it weekly. We're a 7 squad with a couple forwards. So, once you guys have it click, and then you start stringing the phases, and you're able to secure possession and not run away from support so much, I think it's going to all click, and then it's going to make rugby easier in the long run.
Yeah,
it'll get there.
We're getting there. I am just progress, and we'll get into Franciscan and give them a good match. I hope.
You got to think about it. I mean, 2 weeks ago was the first home match you played since 2012. I mean, yeah. Progress.
Yeah. Well, speaking of home matches, this is Franciscan's first home match too, right?
It is. Last week at the Ruckus would have been the first one, which is rescheduled. I mean, what would be post-COVID era rugby if the Rugby Ruckus wasn't canceled? Sorry, Jason. That's going to be a shot that's going to hurt. But I mean, 3 in a row. I think 3 in a row.
Yeah.
I think they were able to reschedule for their homecoming week, which was great.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Coach Jason doesn't, get too mad.
And take it out on Clarion this week. 11 a.m. kickoff in Steubenville, folks.
I like their pitch. I mean, be it when I was at their pitch, it was like all 4 seasons in one day in the spring for sevens.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was like, while we were playing, it was like a blizzard, and the snow was coming sideways. I couldn't even watch the match because it was hitting me in the face. When we were done, it drizzled a little, and then it turned really sunny, and then we started warming up, and it started snowing again every single time. We played 5 matches that day. Every single match snowed.
You sent me some pictures or videos of that. We were in Nashville for Nash Bash.
Yeah.
It was great. It was so nice. Next match, though, up is Kenyon at Case Western. So, Case coming off that tight game. Kenyon off a victory, 19-0. So this is, talk about standings. This is team 2 and 3 in the ARU West going at it here right now. So, really excited to see kind of what happens here. That ARU West is really sort of a mystery, which is why we loved having those Baldwin Wallace guys. Not a mystery, but like we told them, we're here in the East. We don't really get to see a lot of that Western play. So really excited to kind of see what happens here. If Case can string it together, if Kenyon can kind of, again, put 2 wins back to back.
Yeah. If they string it, again, that Case Western, that close loss comes into play here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they have, a 7-0 win, the 2 points is going to help vault Kenyon, right? So
yeah.
That result was huge. That puts them from 3rd to 2nd. John Carroll has yet to start. They start this week. So it's going to be good. I mean, in the grand scheme of forever jinxing everything, I think they're going to come into play. 2 points are going to come into play.
I'm sorry, Kenyon. I'm so sorry we said
I'm not going to say it's not going to, because if I say it won't, it will. So maybe reverse jinx it. Will be good.
Well, and then speaking of getting into play for the first time in division, John Carroll at Denison. We've called John Carroll as kind of our West darlings, I suppose, but largely based on they had a good fall last year and a good sevens, really good sevens.
They had a really good sevens,
And I would not be upset if at the end of a Saturday I lost 38-5 to Rio.
No.
So, take what we can out of social media and what we know about John Carroll. I still think they're going to be an extremely tough team this year.
I mean, you got to figure that's small college playing up to D1A.
Yeah.
It's 3 levels. Doesn't matter. Rio was in small college last year. They're D1A this year. They're completely school funded, scholarship players. That they got a really good coach that knows exactly what he's doing with rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great result for a small college team. If I was John Carroll, that's one of them losses that that's fine. Like, we were supposed to lose, but they didn't beat us by 90. A close result. They had to earn it. You could tell they adjusted something at halftime, because it was 31-0 at half and ended up 38-5. So something got adjusted at half to play better D. And I don't care. Somebody's going to say, well, Rio probably put subs in. Again, fully varsity, all scholarship players. They're all good.
Yeah.
It's like it's like 10A and 10B. If you got 2 fly halves, they're all good.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a great result.
Yeah.
I know we get to play Rio a little bit later in the season. I'm looking forward to that. So I mean, again, that's another one of our D1 gauges. Where are we? So for John Carroll, same thing. You're projecting the right way. That's great. That's a great result.
And for Denison, chance to open up their home stint. And like we were talking about earlier in a different show, we're emailing us about the school becoming more interested, and so really kind of a chance to showcase quality rugby at Denison and see if that can springboard them into more school funding and those types of things. And really, ultimately, that's what we're all about, is trying to promote all of our clubs and do the best we can there.
Yeah, this is Denison's doing a pretty big event, back-to-back rugby matches, men's and women's. Later in the day, I think it's a 4 or 4:30 kickoff, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
So later in the day kickoff, it's great that the school is throwing the support. Being that we are from schools that relatively support what we do, we've been at schools or played at times where we were just that club sport on campus, and just do your thing. Don't get in trouble. Do your thing. You are where you are, right? So it's great that they're going to do that big event for them. I don't think they're playing under the lights, but Saturday Night Light, I'm going to play under the lights. It's a high school football this past week, and it just brought back to memory.
Well, and then we have our developmental sevens tournament, Cedarville Sevens. Right now, it looks like Cedarville, Hillsdale, Tiffin, and AB should be there. So, again, another chance for some of those teams to get out. I think this is Hillsdale and AB's first chance to play for the year. So, hopefully we see some good stuff out of that. Again, we really appreciate the teams that commit to these developmental sevens because in a lot of ways, we can provide you the structure, and this gives you a chance to play rugby and to continue growing in something that's competitive and something that is not trying to stretch your resources or your limits, right? We're not asking guys, teams with 11 guys to try and play 15s. That's not realistic. That's not fair to that team, right? So providing this competitive sevens tournament in the fall really gives them an opportunity to have an end goal. Like, we're going to compete for that ARU Fall Sevens Championships. And I will just stop right here and say all the credit in the world goes to Angela Smarto on the women's side of the ARU because she pioneered this several years ago. And for Clarion women, that kept us alive. And I know it's kept a lot of programs in the Pennsylvania region alive. And so we have taken it and made it an ARU-wide thing. And we're really happy.
Hopefully in a couple of weeks, we have a East Region Sevens tournament coming up, right? And
we should in Edinburgh. So we'll have to highlight that here in a couple of weeks. Well, now we get on to our new segment. And we are, of course, taking way too much time anyways to get through all this stuff. 38 minutes here, but that's fine.
It's under an hour.
It's under an hour. So here we go. Ready? Here's our new segment. Office Hours with Dr. Sanko. Yes, you are in my office where I have advising meetings with students and all these wonderful things. So you are now my students, and I am now the professor of record here. So it's my weekly rant because I like to rant. We both like to talk. I like to rant. And one of the things that drives me nuts is this whole preseason term. We've thrown it around here. I hear it all over the place. And it absolutely, I'll steal a Family Guy line here, grinds my gears, right? And here's why. Because I think everyone uses it in a different way. And then it takes on no meaning, right? And so my plea to everyone is to stop using the term preseason unless you're not going to count it for anything at all, right? So you play an alumni match, that's preseason. You go play a men's division match, that's preseason. But if you are playing another college, that's just non-conference, my friends, or that's just non-divisional, right? And I get fiery about this because I think if we in college rugby want to be taken seriously, then we need to take serious our schedules, right? And we need to convince administration that our schedules are serious and they're legitimate and they look like other collegiate schedules that get put together. So I don't know who needs to solve this problem. If it's just collectively we all do it. Or maybe, I don't know, NCR's got a lot on their plate. But hey, say after Labor Day, everything's regular season. Before Labor Day, everything's preseason. I don't know. Give us some direction. We're not very brilliant people. Right? We're rugby players. We need to be directed to do things, right? So that is my rant. You've picked up on it already, but I'm all about proving to administrators that rugby is a legitimate college sport. And the more we do things like the show and have set schedules that don't change or get called preseason on October 8th, the more solidly we can make that pitch to administration. So there you go. That's what bugs me this week. That's your office hours with Dr. Sanko. The doctor is now out.
And I did a really good job of not pushing you further down a rant hole.
I
get it. I get it. Yeah. Like for us, I labeled some preseason, but for me, that was matches that didn't count for our conference standings. We played all collegiate games. But again, like I told you earlier, I think, I don't know if it was on here or off here, we go out to win every time we step on the field. And my players know that. My finishers know that. And yeah, if I don't have 15, 17, then yeah, we're not playing a weird motley mix-up. Like, it's just, am I going to get anybody injured doing something like that?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, if you're going to count it, and you know, we do in NCR and all this, if you're going to count all these games towards building a resume, then they can't be preseason, right? I mean, because preseason denotes listen, I'll just say this: if they could be preseason, if that's how preseason worked, the 0-16 Detroit Lions of several years ago would have actually been 4-16, my friends, and they wouldn't have been perfect because we went perfect in the preseason that year and perfect in the regular season. 4-0, 0-16. Preseason don't count for shit. So if that's the case,
somebody from Michigan's upset.
I'm just see. This is why I like my rant, because I get all fiery and
yeah.
It's good.
I think I did a very good job of not making it worse.
You did, but there are going to be weeks where I'm sure, just make it worse, just for fun.
I think if I can get the people that watch the video to egg me on more, I can be bought. I can be egged into it 100%. You get on the rant, yeah, come on. Yeah, Dr. Sanko, you give us that opinion. You know, I will be honest. This came to me the other night as preseason is getting started, right? And I thought, oh God, I remember I don't know if you ever watched it, CBC's Hockey Night in Canada. But you're from Pittsburgh, you probably wouldn't have ever got that. Growing up, you know, in the great state of Michigan, we get CBC, right? And so Hockey Night in Canada had Don Cherry, right? TSN?
And you got to know who Don Cherry is.
TSN, that, right?
Huh? Oh, well, now TSN's got Hockey Night in Canada. But back in my day, it used to be CBC.
Okay.
Well, anyway, Don Cherry would come on in the second intermission, and it'd be Coach's Corner with Don Cherry. And he'd be wearing his weird suits, you know, he had suits that looked like they were grandma's couch. And then he just rant. And it was usually something like, you know, these American players are ruining the game, and the Red Wings suck, and all this crap. And he was an outspoken jerk, but I loved it. And I was like, you know what?
Can I request the Don Cherry suit for the next rant?
You can request. I'm not so sure I can find one.
There's Goodwills.
There are Goodwills. That's true. You know what? If I can find one, I will do a wardrobe change and everything for this show.
That's fair.
But anyway, that's that.
Better? Do you feel better?
I feel so much better. This is cathartic for sure.
Good.
And as you can see, I just want to say that we are for sale, right? I am trying to show people that this is great advertising. So again, trying to go with some business. Yeah, sponsor free ad space right here.
I know Mark needs a better webcam and maybe like a keyhole light. You know,
maybe pay for someone to edit this for me. I don't know.
My big thing was I rearranged the office so you don't see the ceiling now; you just see the wall.
It's beautiful.
Progress. Yeah, I care about our product, Mark.
It's a clean product.
Yeah. Well, that leads us into house cleaning. Boom. Match reports. Get your match reports in, everybody. Again, we use it not just for the weeklies. We use it for the graphics, the man in a match. Later on down the season, all conference players will be taking a lot of consideration out of those man in a match from both sides, winning team, losing team. Those are huge. Get them in. It takes, I don't know, all of 2 minutes to fill it out if you remember the info. I recommend filling it out while you're at the pitch, just because you don't put in number 8 from Clarion. You actually get the guy's name, which helps me out because then I'm going to text the coach and say, hey, who wore 8 for you this week, and then update the sheet. Second housekeeping thing is we're still open for championship locations. If you want to host, again, 1 pitch, 3 matches, 1 day, all Saturday, let me know. Let Mark know. Let us both know at the same time. Location, wherever.
As you said, it just needs grass, a post.
Grass and posts.
Patch of grass and post.
And a technical zone. Houlihan wants a technical
zone. That's right. You threw a technical zone last week.
So get locations if you can. The date. I think somebody asked.
November 5th.
Was November 5th. November 5th. Yep. 1 day, Saturday, 3 matches. D2, small college tops, small college bowl.
Yep.
College bowl series. And then that segues into playoffs, and we're in. So if you got a place you want to host, have a dedicated pitch, put in. If not, then you're probably going to be on that side of the ARU, which people might be okay with, they might not. We're going to go with the locations we get, and then meet as a group, and figure it out from there. So, again, match reports, championship location. Let us know. Give us some feedback. Hate us, love us. If you hate us, again, Heasley is our complaints department. To date, he hasn't got any, so I guess we're doing okay.
Or at least he's handling all of them for us.
Oh, yeah. He might be a good buffer. He might just hide so we don't get yelled at.
Might be.
Oh, man. I like it.
Well, you know what? I tell you, Seth, if we just bullshit for 2 more minutes, we can make this a full 60-minute show. But I think we will save our esteemed guests.
Pre-playoffs. Pre-playoffs. Playoffs will be an hour show. Lock it in.
All right. Sounds good to me. We look forward to that one, week whatever. But we will see you all next Thursday for week 4 show.
Yep.
And until then, have a fantastic rugby weekend, my friends.
Good luck. Be safe. Have fun.
Ciao.